Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. If I look a little, I don't know, sweaty today, it's because it's been so hot in New York lately, like insane humidity. And we get hot summers, but like this is pretty bad for July. Normally it doesn't get this bad until August. So that kind of inspired me for today's topic because you know where else it gets really hot? Disney World. I mean, it's in the middle of Florida, in the middle of a swamp. It gets hot, it gets humid, there are thunderstorms every day. It is madness. If you're traveling during the summer, even well into the beginning of October, it can be oppressively hot. I know because I have firsthand experience with it. So I wanted to talk about my 5 ways that I try to keep cool at Disney World when it is as hot as it can be, because this isn't just about comfort, but it's also about health. Unfortunately, on my last trip, I saw not one, but 2 people who were taken away on stretchers, both who looked like they were dealing with some form of heat stroke. And it can happen to anyone, even those who do follow these tips, it can still happen too. So, you know, you gotta be very mindful of how you're feeling in the parks. Don't be afraid to stop someone and say, hey, I'm not feeling well. They are there to take care of you. Cast members are trained to know exactly what to do. They have paramedics there. They have the ability to take care of you. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can't get yourself back to 100%, but they can help you out. So that's just my first disclaimer of make sure that you reach out if you are not feeling well. But if you find yourself down at Disney World during the summer, maybe it's summer break, it's the only time you can take the kids, maybe you want to go for fall, not so scary Halloween party, food and wine, but it's still pretty scorching hot out, here are some tips for how to stay cool. The first is the most important, and it is hydrate. And this is coming from someone who never drinks water. I am so bad at drinking water that sometimes I question how I'm still alive. Like on my regular day-to-day basis, I have to remind myself to have a glass of water. So when I am down in Florida, I am twice as vigilant about drinking water. One of the things that we did one trip was Rob actually went to one of the grocery stores, big old cases of water bottles, so he could have that in the hotel, save some money instead of buying water bottles constantly at the parks. And he had so many left over that he actually gave some to me while I was still there for a few days afterwards. So that's a cost-effective way to do it. If you don't care about drinking the tap water, it's not great, but it's fine for you. You can get free cups of water at any quick service restaurant, anyone. You can walk up, say, can I get a cup of water with ice? They will give you tap water. They will not charge you for it. It is free. You can also bring a Camelback or a Swell bottle or any other sort of water bottle. You can bring that into the parks and refill at water fountains that are usually located near the bathrooms. But a lot of people don't like to drink the tap water, and so I think that getting your water bottles ahead of time is going to be a more cost-effective way to do it, because obviously this is Disney World, and you know, what would they be if they didn't upcharge us for a bottle of water? Honestly, I try to remind myself to take some water every 30 minutes. So even if it's just a few sips, I find having a little bit of water every 30 minutes helps. Sometimes you're so hot, you're gonna be chugging it anyway, which is fine. But it's good to kind of pace it out throughout your day to make sure you're constantly staying hydrated. Number 2, take breaks. And when I say take breaks, I don't necessarily mean going all the way back to the hotel, though some people really do need to do that. They need to go back, they need to change, they need to recharge, and that's totally fine. You know, I'm all for the midday summer shower just to feel better. But I think if you know what rides to go take a break in, you know, the rides that have a lot of AC for a long period of time, that could be your break. So if you're feeling really hot in Epcot, maybe it's Spaceship Earth. Used to be Ellen's Energy Adventure, because that ride was like 40 minutes, but no longer. If it's Magic Kingdom, maybe it's Carousel of Progress. You don't have to pay attention to the Carousel of Progress. I mean, you should, it's an amazing ride. But if you want to close your eyes for a nap and chill out in the AC, I won't totally blame you. Just find a space that you're not outdoors, that you're not worrying about the sun bearing down on you, that you can get into quickly. Again, Carousel of Progress is a good example because there's almost never a wait, so you can get right in. You know, even things like the Tiki Room, whatever it is that gives you 10, 15, 20 minutes in an AC room and where you can rest is really great. So consider that as part of your breaks as well. And speaking of AC, we can segue into my number 3, which is when you can walk through AC stores, do it. Anytime you can walk through the stores down Main Street rather than walking on Main Street, you should do it. If you can walk through Mouse Gears and Epcot and come out the other side, do it. Anytime you can kind of pass through air conditioning, just to give yourself a few minutes to cool off, I highly recommend it, just to get out of the sun. To me, I'm very cognizant of doing that in the hot heat. I'm just trying to always find, like, where's the next blast of AC that I can run into. And the way that Disney is built, there are so many stores that connect to each other. You can do this anywhere. Hollywood Studios, when you walk in, they're all connected together. I probably find that the one with the least places with AC to duck into is Animal Kingdom. It's very out in the open. It can be a very rough park in the heat because there's a lot of walking. Everything's very spread out. You have the trails that are like fairly long, the safaris outside, like that is definitely a harder part to do in the heat. So I would recommend, to that point, to save it for the least hot day. I mean, you might just have a whole straight week of really hot days, but if there is a less abrasive hot day, I would save Animal Kingdom for that, just a side note. Number 4 is to wear cool clothing, and that doesn't always mean shorts and a tank top. Sometimes it's really the material over what you're wearing. So like a pair of denim shorts is going to be hotter than a pair of cotton or linen shorts. Linen's actually a great way to go in the summer. It is very breathable, so you'll feel pretty good in it. As everyone knows, try not to wear dark clothes, they'll make you feel hotter. I would definitely not recommend jeans at all. And wear other items that will cool you off, so that might be a hat on your head. Contrary to what you might think, well, I'm putting a hat on my head, isn't that gonna make me warm? No, it's gonna keep the sun out of your eyes, it's gonna give you some shade at all times and cool you off. If you don't have a hat, there's a million hats in Disney World to buy. You can just pick one up. But just make sure that what you're packing is nice and cool for the women out there, something very flowy. I love to wear dresses in the parks. A lot of people wouldn't exactly think dress and theme park, but I think Disney is a really good place to do it. You're not on like a ton of coasters outside where we've got like wind up your skirt. I mean, for the most part, I've been very comfortable in a dress at every park on most attractions. So I highly recommend that if you can do that as well. And also wear breathable shoes and comfortable shoes. I know sometimes going for the flip-flops might seem like the bright idea because it's summer, but you also don't want to give yourself blisters by the end of the day. So make sure that they are comfortable for you, but also breathable so your feet aren't sweating to death by the end of your whole day. And number 5 is take advantage of your pool. Whether it's a midday pool break, a first thing in the morning pool, jump in. Maybe you do it after the whole day. You go get changed, get in your bathing suit and go in the pool. Just take advantage of the fact that the on-site resorts have pools, and I'm sure many of the off-site ones do too. And it's such a good way to cool down, even just for a few minutes, kind of set your body temperature to something more comfortable. So definitely take advantage of them. Don't forget that they're there, and that there's something you can do, and it's probably going to be less crowded in the long run than going to the water parks. So definitely make sure there's pool time within your week. You're going to thank me for it when you're in there and you just feel great. So those are my 5 tips for staying cool at Disney World. Again, really, really important to hydrate, to wear cool clothing, to take your breaks, to stay in the AC, because it's probably, I would gather, the most common illness that happens there, aside from like maybe people getting the flu, that people get down in Disney World is, you know, heat stroke and dehydration and heat exhaustion and all of that. It's very, very easy for that to happen, and it comes on very quick. So do make sure that you take care of yourself when you're there. If you have some tips of ways that you like to stay cool other than just avoiding the hot season altogether, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe. I'm making videos every single week. And if you're new here, thank you. And if you're old here, thank you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye.